Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Inside IU Volleyball with Coach Sherry Dunbar. I'm Greg Murray. Coach, the final preseason tournament in the books, the Hoosier Classic at University Gym here in Bloomington, began Friday night against the Valparaiso Crusaders, and the team came out really hot, hit a combined 385 as you guys took the first two sets, but after that 10-minute intermission, a little bit changed. Valpo came back, won the final three sets. What do you think was the biggest factor in what changed in that match?
Well, I mean, at that point in time, you really don't want that 10-minute break, that's for sure. And I think that really hurt us. I think the wheels kind of fell off. I think the momentum shifted, and I thought we got really tentative, and we're just hoping to win, and hoping to do things instead of really attacking them like we did in the first two sets. So, we have to use that as a learning experience, and we talked about it, and we had a really good discussion after the match. It's not the time, and I've said this to other people, it's not the time to go in and rip them at that point, because it's not like our team hasn't done the work. They're in the gym a lot of hours every day. They're in doing extra, watching extra film, did all the work in the off season. So it's not that they don't want to win. At times, I think they want to win too much. And that's all they're focused on, and not focused on just doing their job in the process. They're looking at the results before it even happens. And we have to win this in three, or we can't lose this set, instead of, okay, let me just focus on this point, I have to do this job. And so we really had a good, I thought, kind of educational discussion with them and learned from them, and we kind of gave them some advice and feedback, and decided we needed to make some dramatic changes the next day.
And it really appears like that talk or whatever have you did really pay off that next day, coming out with two convincing wins against Chattanooga and Miami of Ohio, just dropping one set on the match. That Chattanooga match kind of brought home a little bit for you. A former player was actually an assistant coach, Taylor Wittmer, a 2010 graduate. How nice was that for you, just to see a player that played for you left and then come back coaching kind of exactly what you're doing?
That was awesome. I mean, she's just a great kid, and she's getting her master's right now at Chattanooga, and I think at first it was just, hey, I can get my master's paid for, by them, and I can kind of get my feet wet coaching, but really thinking in the end she's probably going to do something else. And now I think she's really struggling, because I think she really enjoys the coaching part, and it's a really good situation with Travis being the coach there, and just, they're just being very good mentors for her. And I think she's helping build that program. They've only been there as a staff 2 years. And, he's kind of taken it over. He was the assistant at North Carolina. And so it's just a great situation for her right now. And I was very proud of her for the role model she is for those players, and for her to be able to come back was really exciting for her.
And on the court in that match, one player that really stuck out that we haven't seen this particular part of her game, Jordan Haverly, had 5 aces out of the Hoosiers' 10 aces against Chattanooga, but she went to that jump serve, which is something that I haven't seen yet this 2012 season. I've heard about it in previous seasons back in 2010. How much more comfortable is she now with that serve, and how much does that have to do with that injury from last year?
Yeah, I mean, that was a decision that we made as a staff to keep her down most of the preseason, just to limit her jumps, from the injury she had. And she came to me last week and said, I want to start jump serving again. I feel more comfortable, which is hard to believe. You think, oh, standing down, float serving would be way more comfortable than jump serving. But for her, that's what she knows to do, is jump serving. And that's a chance for her to attack and score points for us. So I told her, I said, if you feel like it and we can get some practice in this week, absolutely, let's go for it this weekend. And I thought she looked like she never really lost a lot from that jump serve, and that really helped us a lot during the matches.
During those 3 matches here in the Hoosier Classic, Indiana finished 2-1, second in that final preseason tournament, 8-4 overall in the preseason. Big Ten starts next weekend, heading to Michigan and Michigan State. Obviously, Big Ten play, the Big Ten Conference in general, they're going to throw the best at you every single weekend, the top conference nationally. What are your overall thoughts of just going to Michigan to start it off?
Well, I'm glad that we ended the preseason on a positive note, because we've been a roller coaster team a little bit in the non-conference schedule. And I think we've learned some things, and some people have stepped up. It was nice to see Amelia Anderson have a great weekend and be on the all-tournament team. It's nice to see Melanie Hicks have a great weekend, probably her best of her career. So to see some people really make some big strides, I thought was really positive for the depth that we have, going into the Big Ten season. But there's still some things we need to work out, and we need to really focus on the controllable things that we're doing. because I think the training is paying off. I think they're making the right decisions and the right moves, but still a lot of it is you have to believe, and the Big Ten is brutal. They're not going to give you any edges, and so you have to walk in there and with an expectation that you're going to play your best volleyball and that you're going to win. But it all has to do with the process of, the mini battles, as we call them. Every point is a mini battle, and it's not just about the score. If you just are constantly looking at the score and constantly think about winning or losing, you're missing the whole point of competition. We're in the competition at every single point.
You mentioned Amelia and Melanie, both with very good weekends. Another player that stood out was Samantha Thrower. She was, along with Amelia Anderson, on the all-tournament team. And after this most recent tournament, I was able to catch up with Sam and talk to her a little bit about her in her senior season, how much she's able to contribute to the Hoosiers.
Here at University Gym, I've caught up with senior middle blockers Samantha Thrower. And Sam, this being your senior season, what do you think is your biggest improvement that you've made throughout your IU career?
I think as middles, we've all been really focusing on the blocking aspects of our game and improving with that. And so I think we've seen a big improvement in that with all of the work we've done so far this season.
And you've done a nice job here in the preseason, finishing with tonight's win against Miami of Ohio, 8-4 in the preseason. What's the biggest thing that you look forward to now going into conference play starting in Michigan next week?
I'm just excited to get into Big Ten, to get to that level of competition. I know this is what we've all been working for since spring, all the work we've been putting in, especially this preseason, so we're all ready to get into Big Ten.
And now that you're a senior, talk to me about how the leadership role kind of changes. Obviously, you have the most experience out there being in your senior campaign. How much do you have to guide and just kind of lead the rest of this team?
I think our leadership is really well spread across the court. I know we do have our captains, but it goes so much further than that and beyond that. I mean, we have Caitlin Hansen running like the defense in the back row, middle blockers run the net, and our captains are running the court. So we just don't have that. It's not one-dimensional. So we have like a really good spread leadership across the team.
And you defensively so far this season have been putting up tremendous numbers coming into this weekend with over a block and a half per set, 7th nationally. And what have you worked on in the off-season just on your defensive game specifically?
I think the most thing I and all the other middle blockers have worked on is just our first defensive moves and being explosive on our block, and we've all improved so much on that. So.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining me. Good luck.
Thank you.
Sam Thrower getting the all-tournament nod in the Hoosier Classic. Amelia Anderson alongside her got her first 3 collegiate starts of her career, double-figure kills in a few of these matches this weekend, really starting to kind of find her own and really be a part of this IU offense.
Well, we talked about Amelia got the start this past weekend because she had a great week of practice last week, and I think that's the reward. If you're going to put it out there every day and you're going to keep improving, then we're going to show you the reward to put you on the court because she's proven that she's going to do that. And I think that's for every single player. That was a great example for Amelia, and then she, used it to pay off with some huge hitting percentages this weekend and really helped us a lot. So, and that was a great week. Now she needs to have another good week. Jade needs to have a great week. Jordan needs to have a great week. And that's what we're looking for is just, okay, make me put you on the floor. Show me in practice what you're going to do for us productivity-wise, in matches, and earn that start and earn that playing time. And that's what we're looking for players to do, is make our job a lot easier.
And now that conference play is here, you guys start on the road this weekend. How do you prepare your more freshmen or more inexperienced players to go into that first Big Ten atmosphere in Michigan and Michigan State? Well,
that's a great question. I'm not sure I know the answer. I mean, you prepare like every other match. I mean, I think you have to keep things very normal. We'll do a lot more film work. When you play 3 matches in a weekend and you're seeing some of it live and some of it on film and everything, it's pretty chaotic in the non-conference schedule. But now we'll just focus on 2 matches. And really for them, all they'll focus on is Michigan because that's who we play first. We'll start focusing on Michigan State, but we really want them just to really eyeball Michigan and see where we need to be successful against them. So it'll be much more detailed as far as just offenses and defenses and things like that. And tendencies. And the good thing about the Big Ten is it doesn't change a whole lot. We know all the players and we're so familiar with almost playing a true double round robin. You get to see them a lot. And on TV, now the Big Ten Network every Wednesday will have matches going on and live streams and everything. So we'll get a chance to see as much Big Ten volleyball as we want to see. And the kids are really into it too, and they'll watch a lot of film.
And now that one chapter of the season is over, the preseason, heading to conference play, I'll put you on the spot. What's your favorite moment so far of this 2012 season?
Oh, for sure, Georgia Tech. I mean, I think that truly showed me the fight that our team has against a really good team. You know, I think Georgia Tech's going to have a great season and very talented athletically. And, you know, being down in several of those sets against them by 4 or 5. In the last set, I think we were down 22-17 and came back and won. I think that is our team, and we have to continue to find that fight because it's there. And they learned a lot of that in the off season, and they have to believe that they have that all the time. But that match itself, just as a whole, really stands out to me in the non-conference schedule.
Well, Coach, conference play, Big Ten play begins Friday evening against the Michigan Wolverines in Ann Arbor. The next night, same time, against the Michigan State Spartans in East Lansing. Coach, thank you for joining me, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.